Hello guys. Welcome to the story world. We are to serve you best stories, but we need your help to complete our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So find the subscribe button and please click on it. Let's jumping into story. Chicago after midnight is a strange thing. Not silent, not dead, just hollow. The streets still breathe but slower. Steam curls from manhole covers like the city is exhaling in its sleep. Somewhere, a drunk shouts into the night, his voice bouncing off brick and steel. But mostly, it's just me, the rain, and the faint hum of street lamps. I was walking home from the diner, my sneakers soaking through, thinking only of a hot shower and maybe a beer, if I could stay awake long enough to crack one open. I glanced at my wristwatch out of habit. 12:59 a.m. The second hand stuttered. For a moment, I thought the battery was dying, but then the minute hand jerked back, not forward, and the numbers shifted. 12 a.m. I stopped. Looked again. The rain was wrong. Droplets hung in midair like beads on invisible strings. I reached out, and my fingertip hit one. Cold and solid like glass. The city had gone still. A yellow cab was in the middle of the intersection ahead, front wheels turned halfway through a left turn. The driver's eyes were wide, mouth open but frozen. Not a blink, not a twitch. That's when I heard it. A voice, low but sharp, coming from behind a lamppost. "You're not supposed to be here." I turned, heart slamming against my ribs. A woman stepped into the light. She was tall, maybe mid-30s, black hoodie pulled up, water droplets clinging to the fabric like little pearls. She moved casually, like none of this bothered her, like she'd seen it all before. "Where the hell is everyone?" I asked. My voice came out hoarse, like speaking too loud might shatter whatever this was. "They're here," she said, nodding toward the frozen cab. "You're just somewhere else right now." The woman introduced herself as Dana Brooks and told me to follow her. She didn't explain much, just walked with long, confident strides through the rain-locked streets. Every so often, I'd see a bird in mid-flight above us, wings spread but unmoving, like someone had hit pause on the world. We reached a coffee shop on the corner of Dearborn and Lake. Inside, 5 people sat at mismatched tables, cups of untouched coffee steaming in front of them, except the steam wasn't rising, it just hovered in little wisps, motionless. Dana pushed the door open and waved me in. "This is Caleb," she announced. "New one." A gruff man with a fireman's jacket over a flannel shirt looked up from his seat. "Name's Tom Harris," he said, giving me a quick nod. His voice was gravely, the kind that said he'd been through a lifetime of shouting over sirens. Next to him, a skinny kid with paint-stained fingers gave a shy wave. Miles Green. Couldn't have been older than 17. Across the room, a couple, Sophie and Ben Carter, sat close together, hands intertwined. They looked like the kind of people who'd been through something and didn't let go after. And then there was Dana, leaning against the counter like she owned the place. "Okay," I said, scanning their faces. "Somebody tell me what the hell is going on." Tom leaned back in his chair. "We call it the extra hour. Doesn't happen to everyone, just folks like us." "Folks like us?" I asked. "People who've been real close to dying," Dana said. "Closer than you probably want to admit." I thought back to a rainy night 2 years ago, headlights swerving into my lane, the screech of tires, the impact that never came because the other driver spun off at the last second. My heart started to pound. "And the world just freezes?" I asked. Dana nodded. "Freezes for everyone except us. And one other thing." I frowned. "One other thing?" Tom glanced toward the dark corner of the shop. "You'll see soon enough. Let's just say we're not alone here." The next night, I found myself back in the extra hour without even meaning to. One moment I was microwaving leftover meatloaf. The next, my kitchen clock flipped to 12 a.m. and everything stopped. Dana was waiting for me outside my apartment building. "Figured you'd show up," she said. "Come on. You need to learn the rules if you're going to last more than a week in here." We walked through the city, every step echoing like we were inside a giant, empty cathedral. Rule 1, you can't touch frozen people. I learned this when I tried tapping a guy on the shoulder outside a convenience store. My finger met something like solid rubber. Dana said it was dangerous. Push too hard, and you could end up stuck in them, unable to move until the hour ended. Rule 2, you can't take anything back into normal time. I picked up a dollar bill lying on the sidewalk, slipped it into my pocket, and when the clock hit 1 a.m., it vanished. Rule 3. Never go near complete darkness. That's where it moves. The others called it the collector. They didn't describe it much, and I didn't press. But that night, as we passed under the shadow of an overpass, I thought I saw something. Just at the edge of the light, a ripple, like heat haze. And 2 faint points, glowing in the black. Dana caught me staring and shook her head. "Don't look at it too long," she said quietly. "It looks back." It was Miles who vanished first. He'd been jittery all week, barely speaking, eyes darting to every shadow like he expected something to leap out. During the extra hour, he stuck close to Tom, almost hiding behind him. Dana kept telling him to breathe, that it wouldn't come for him if he kept to the light. But that night, he didn't show. The rest of us waited in the coffee shop for 10 minutes, then 15. The extra hour isn't predictable. It doesn't always happen every night. But once it starts, you're in it. And Miles had been there the night before. Dana finally said, "We need to check." We found him 3 blocks away, sitting on a bench under a flickering street lamp. His head was tilted back, mouth slightly open. He looked almost peaceful, but his chest wasn't moving. I put a hand on his shoulder. It was cold, not frozen in time cold, dead cold. The others didn't need to check his pulse. We all knew. Tom's jaw tightened. "It started again," I asked. "What started?" "The collector," Dana said. "It doesn't just wander, it hunts. We've seen it before. One person disappears, then another and another, until—" She didn't finish. Over the next few nights, the group got smaller. Sophie and Ben vanished on the same night. They'd gone to check something near the waterfront and never came back. The extra hour felt heavier now. The air was thicker, like breathing through wet cloth. And in the corner of my vision, I caught more and more glimpses, a smear of darkness that didn't belong, and those 2 faint, watching lights. Tom finally told me the truth. "We don't know what it is. We just know it wants us. Maybe because we cheated death. Maybe because this hour is its territory, and we're trespassing." He gripped his baseball bat tighter. "But I'm not letting it take me without a fight." It happened on the coldest night of January. The kind where the Chicago River froze along the edges and the wind made your teeth ache. The extra hour hit as I was halfway across the bridge near Wrigley Tower. Dana and Tom were already there. "We end this tonight," Dana said, "or we're next." The plan was simple, at least on paper. The collector seemed tied to darkness, so we'd draw it to the one place in the city where we could control the light, the clock tower. The old pendulum mechanism wasn't just a timepiece. It was a maze of gears, mirrors, and beams that could scatter light like a prism, if you set it right. Tom led the way inside, swinging his bat at the frozen glass doors until they cracked enough for us to slip through. The interior was eerily still, not frozen in time like the outside world, but dead quiet, like the place had been abandoned for years. We climbed the narrow staircase, our footsteps echoing. The higher we got, the darker it became. My flashlight beam trembled in my hand. Halfway up, Dana hissed, "It's here." I saw it, or part of it, sliding up the wall beside us, a black ripple that seemed to drink in the light. It moved without sound, without shape, like liquid shadow. We bolted for the top. The clock room was a wide, open chamber filled with the smell of dust and oil. Light from the 4 massive clock faces spilled in, pale and cold. "Get to the pendulum," Dana shouted. Tom and I moved fast, adjusting the mirrors we'd positioned earlier. Light from the east window bent toward the west, scattering across the center of the room. The collector hesitated at the edge of it, then it lunged. It was like watching smoke try to take form, tendrils stretching, folding, snapping back. Those 2 points of light were brighter now, almost burning white. My chest tightened like it was squeezing the air out of me. "Now," Dana yelled. I swung the wrench down onto the pendulum's main housing. The gear teeth screamed as metal shattered. The mirrors shook, scattering light wildly across the chamber. The collector shrieked, not in sound exactly, but in something that rattled in my skull. It flailed, its form fracturing like it was being peeled apart. Then, with a sucking rush of air, it was gone. The next thing I remember is waking up in my apartment, sunlight leaking through the blinds. My clock read 8:03 a.m. My phone buzzed with a notification from the diner about covering an afternoon shift. For a few seconds, I thought I'd dreamed it all. Then I looked at my wristwatch. The glass was cracked from where I'd slammed it against the pendulum housing. I called Dana's number. Disconnected. Tried Tom's. No such listing. I went back to the coffee shop. The barista didn't recognize the names. We haven't had anyone named Dana or Tom working here. Ever. The extra hour didn't come for weeks. I almost convinced myself it was over. Then, one night in late March, I was walking home again. The city was quiet, the air soft with the smell of rain. I checked my watch, 12:59 a.m. The second hand trembled and rolled back to 12 a.m. The rain froze, the street went still, and somewhere in the dark, two faint points of light blinked open. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button if you really like this story, and don't forget to subscribe.